Hello, it is I again. It's Kat here. I wanted to, I guess go through the things that I had mentioned before that I had tried out since the beginning of the year in an effort to make a supplemental income from online, and how and potentially why those different avenues did not work in my favor whatsoever. I would I learned about these different forms of generating online income from YouTubers, and I'm always grateful for the free information. However, because it's also a selling strategy on their part to market their YouTube videos and drive traffic to watch their content, I feel that they're not always very honest. Not that they're not honest. I don't want to say that. I'm not here to accuse anybody of outright lying, but they definitely sell you on a dream, I think. A lot of people, and I'm not saying that this is everyone, but of course a lot of people know that there are a lot of individuals out here who are done working a 9 to 5, who want financial freedom, who want time freedom, or who are in my situation where they do already enjoy what they currently do as a profession, but they either need or want to have a supplemental income. They need extra money coming in for a plethora of different reasons. And my situation is that I have an 8-month-old son, and I need more in order to provide for him more comfortably. And with all that being said, they just kind of sell you on this is gonna work out, and there is a lot of, I don't even think that they're get rich quick schemes necessarily. I'm not sure exactly what I would call them, but so let's go all the way back to the beginning. So I started this process of diving into different online revenue streams at the start of the year. Again, had nothing to do with a New Year's resolution. It just happened to coincide with the turn of the calendar year. Anyways, let me think. What did I try first? I want to say I tried print on demand first. So I had a Printful account, and everything that I learned as far as, designing and even knowing what Printful was and all of that came from YouTube information. And I found some really great tutorials on how to design clothing and mugs and bags, and you can design anything through Printful, it seems like. The issue is the profit margins, and also the marketing, for me at least, was very challenging. And I'm not here to say that you can't find success with these things. I'm just saying that I did not find success, and some of the reasons why I think why. And I can be to blame for some of this too. I mentioned before that I'm not a patient person, that I do get a little frustrated, I guess, being a hamster on a wheel and trying to make things happen, and then they just fall flat. So I mean, there's some culpability in that for me, but I also just think that these things are very challenging and very difficult. And with the print on demand, for example, first of all, you have to pay them first to print the material and get it sent to whoever is buying it. So you are dependent on them for the material, for the shipping, for the inventory and all of this. And what I decided to do was to make baby clothes and toddler clothes, because I thought to myself, well, I need to have a niche. It should be something that I already have some knowledge in and something that I enjoy. Well, I really enjoy being a mom. I love my son. I love the role of being a mom. And I like baby clothes. I like clothes in general. I like dressing him. And so I thought, well, that's a good start for me. So I made some pretty cute clothes from designing and then, transferring over. And I opened up a store that linked to the Printful account. And so it was very easy kind of transition work between the two different applications, and all of that I really appreciated. It's just, it was the marketing, right? I mean, that was the biggest thing. I even bought a sample jumpsuit and, you know, made like a cute little video of my son wearing the jumpsuit, and it just didn't go anywhere. I mean, I would get a lot of views, but I didn't get engagement. So I didn't get people liking it. I didn't get people commenting. I didn't get anybody, you know, well, I got some traffic to my store, but nothing that was very notable. And I mean, nobody put anything in their shopping cart. Nobody emailed asking questions. You know what I mean? So it just, and I mean, I know it's possible too that, you know, you might be listening to this thinking like, well, maybe your clothes just really weren't that cute. The thing is though, is that there's this, I mean, of course I would think it's cute because I'm the one that designed it. The thing is though, is that fashion is so subjective. I know that there is somebody out there who thought that it was cute. I mean, just go out and look in the streets and see all the different types of clothing that you see people wearing. What one person thinks is a great outfit, somebody else is going to think it looks like trash or it looks tacky or whatever other label you want to apply to that. Fashion is extremely subjective. So I really don't think it's that. I'm sure that there are people who didn't find it to be cute outfits or cute designs, but I know that there were people who did, because there's a different taste for everybody. And so I really just, I don't know. I guess, you know, I probably did give up too soon with the marketing. But it just seemed like I was going to have to put so much more effort into it than what it was really worth in the end. It was going to be a lot of time, a lot of effort, and honestly, not for a whole lot of extra income, because as I said, the materials, you have to pay for them first. You have to pay Printful first, and then, you know, whatever it is that you've, what is it called, that you've upsold your work for, you know, I mean, I couldn't reasonably ask for very much. Like, for example, if a jumpsuit was going to cost me, I don't remember all the prices, but let's say it was going to cost me $12 to $14 just to pay Printful to print, you know, to have that jumpsuit and then print my design on it. I could maybe ask for, you know, $10 over that. I could sell it for $22 or $24. A lot of people, you know, it has to be something kind of special for them to spend that amount of money on one single unique design jumpsuit for their baby, when in reality they could just be cheap like me and go to Goodwill or Ross even, and at Ross you get like these full-on like 3 to 4 pack baby suits that are name brand a lot of times, like Hilfiger, Puma, Adidas, Calvin Klein, and you know, you could get this whole pack of jumpsuits, like 3 or 4 at a time, for $14, which is what I would be paying Printful for. You know what I mean? So it just, I don't know, when I put myself in the position of the consumer, I kind of realized too, you know, I don't know that I would spend that much money. I would if I was really just in love with the design, but I would have to, that's the thing, is that I would really have to be in love with it. And then especially too, when you consider with baby clothing, I mean, for any of you who have babies, who have went through the baby phase, who have children, you know that they outgrow their clothing rapidly. And that's not to say there are people out there that will spend money just to spend money because it's retail therapy, because they just have money to spend. But that's not a lot of people. And also those people who like to spend and who have money to spend, they need to find your store, and you have to push it out. And that's really challenging to do, especially when you don't have the inventory, you don't have the product. And anyways, in the end, just too much time and effort to try and push my baby clothing and my designs, and in the end not really end up with very much income afterwards. because as I said, you know, I could only really mark it up maybe by $10 at the most, because then at that point it just gets too expensive for people to justify buying this one jumpsuit or this one t-shirt for their baby who is going to outgrow it probably in a month or two anyway. So I only tried that for about a month, I would say. I gave it a try for a month, and it did not go anywhere. And you know, I'm happy that I walked away from that, because it did take up a lot of time and effort. But I'm glad that I gave it a try. And I think that anybody who is thinking about it or considering, you don't need to take my word for it at all. You're a different person. You have a different schedule. You have different responsibilities, maybe fewer responsibilities than I do, and you can, you know, afford either financially or time-wise to play around with something like that a little bit more. Or maybe you're just a social media marketing genius and you know that you can catch a lot of attention and get more engagement than I did. So this is all just coming from my personal experience and how it turned out for me. It doesn't mean that it'll be the same for you, but it does mean that it could potentially be the same for you also. So I'm just trying to put it out there, what my reasonings were and what challenges I found with that. So let's see, what else did I try? I also tried drop shipping. I was not a fan. Again, I found the drop shipping method through YouTube videos, and of course, again, you know, typically it's sold as being this really great way of getting your feet wet in business and not having to commit too much because you don't have to hold the inventory. And you know, you're essentially finding a supplier and then you're marketing their product, and you're the in-between person between the supplier and the consumer. And I'm not knocking drop shipping. I believe that there are a lot of success stories with drop shipping. I've seen drop shipping stores and social media pages, or at least I'm pretty sure that they're drop shipping pages. And you know, it appears to me that they are pretty successful and that they do have a lot of engagement. And that's great for them. And again, they're in a different situation than I am. So with drop shipping, for me, I was looking at AliExpress at first. The shipping times were pretty horrendous for a lot of the products, and I didn't want to be the middle person for suppliers that seemed like the shipping was just not where it was at. Like the shipping, I mean, you have to consider that you're competing with Amazon Prime and Amazon next day delivery and same day delivery, and you know, people do want fast shipping. And when you go on to a lot of the AliExpress suppliers, they are taking anywhere from 10 to 15 days for shipment. And you know, just generally, I mean, when you are competing with, you know, like the Amazons and other drop shipping stores that can provide faster shipping, even if it's at a higher price, a lot of consumers will want to choose whatever is going to arrive quicker and also be at a, you know, somewhat decent, reasonable price. So I didn't go through AliExpress after looking at their options. On YouTube, I saw a few different drop shipping YouTubers recommending AutoDS. So with AutoDS, the thing that frustrated me, because I'm cheap, is that you couldn't view their inventory and what they had available without signing up, whereas like with AliExpress you could. So that frustrated me a little, because it was just like, well, how am I supposed to pick a niche, and how am I supposed to know what's available and what I could possibly pull off without even seeing what they have available from suppliers? So thankfully they had some, I don't remember what it is now, I think it was like a 2-week trial for $1.99 or, you know, something like that. They had some type of a trial going on that was pretty cheap. So I signed up for that. so that I could just look at their inventory. And again, going back to being a mom, having experience with that, enjoying being a mom, I thought, well, okay, I'll do baby products. And someone is always getting pregnant, it seems like, or somebody always knows someone who is pregnant, and so they want to buy for baby showers and for newborn gifts and whatnot. So I was like, okay, maybe I can run with that. So I created a store through Shopify with their $1 trial. I had a logo, a brand name, everything. And I was working through AutoDS for this 2-week trial. And I was, filtering products from AutoDS onto Shopify. Different baby products, right? Like, strollers, toys, baby food makers, bottle warmers, anything that you can think of. And I had probably around 12 or 13 products that I had on my Shopify store. And same situation, I didn't want to buy any of the products to, be able to video them and showcase what they do and what kind of value they can add, because they were somewhat they weren't terribly expensive, right? But it's just that I was trying so hard to keep my costs really low because I didn't know where it was going to go. And so I didn't want to spend $20 to $40 on one product just so I could make a couple of videos on this really high-tech diaper bag or, this baby food maker blender. And so I was trying my best to market with photos, and I was trying to do really creative things like making videos out of the photos and doing kind of funny voiceovers, and it just, again, kind of the same thing. I would get views on Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels and TikTok, but the engagement just wasn't there. People didn't seem to be very interested. They would watch it, but they would not like it. It didn't drive a whole lot of traffic to my store. And I know that I only gave this a shot for a couple of weeks, but I still feel like with the amount of views that I was getting, if it were going to go anywhere, I would have at least seen a little something within a couple of weeks. And I was just also feeling defeated because I really felt like I need to have the product here with me so that I can demonstrate how to use it, what it's good for, how it's useful. And I just knew that I wasn't going to do that. I just, again, time, effort, money, the outcome on the other side of that, I didn't see myself ever making a great amount of supplemental income from that. Even upselling the products, for example, if something cost through the supplier, we'll say $25, even marketing it up another $15 or $20, I could easily look on Amazon and see something for roughly the same shipping time, but they had so many options at lower prices. And could I have lowered my prices? Yes, I could have, but then that goes back to my point that it's time, money, and effort for very little in return. Unless you're just selling through the roof. If you're selling through the roof, then of course only having a $10 to $15 profit, if you're selling several different items in one day, of course that adds up quickly, but that's not the boat that I was in. The boat that I was in was just like barely staying afloat. So I gave up on drop shipping rather quickly too. And then something else that I tried was reselling my clothing. I didn't go do any, donation diving or anything like that, like at the Goodwill bins looking for material to resell, because I thought to myself, let me try and resell what I currently have in my closet that I don't want anymore, that's been taken care of, that's clean, it's in good condition, and again, that I think are cute clothes. And I tried Poshmark and Mercari. Tried both of those, and I did marketing on Pinterest, I did it on Instagram, I did it on Facebook, and I did it on TikTok. And I went back and forth between photos and video marketing content. And kind of the same thing. I mean, it just wasn't driving any traffic for me at all. And then Poshmark and Mercari themselves are already, search engine generated. And so you also have that audience there too that's already there. And I wasn't getting very many views on my clothing. And I know, again, going back to what I was saying at the beginning when I was talking about the baby clothing, I know that, you can just say, well, they didn't think that your clothes were cute enough, or your clothes are not what most people are looking for. But there's something out there for everybody. And a lot of the clothes that I was reselling were name brand athletic gear. Nike, Under Armour, Puma, Adidas. Those are the types of clothing that I was trying to resell. And those are popular athletic brands. They're in good condition, they're clean, and just it wasn't getting a lot of view. So I didn't try very long on Poshmark or Mercari. I was kind of thinking, I don't know, I might be self-defeating or self-sabotaging, but I was feeling like a lot of the audience on those apps were looking for higher end designer deals. So the Louis Vuitton bags, the Gucci, the Prada, the Burberry, I felt like they're kind of more geared towards the really high end fashion names and looking for deals on those types of items. But there again, when I was just doing kind of general research and looking at some other sellers who, because it will say next to their username how many sales transactions they've done, and some of these people had sold hundreds or even up to thousands of different items on Poshmark and Mercari. And I would look through the stuff that they had, and again, fashion is subjective, it's all about personal taste, but I'm just like, I don't think that their stuff is that noteworthy. Like, it's not all of it was high-end designer fashion, and I just kind of thought that some of the things that they were selling were pretty bland and kind of regular. And so I was confused, and I'm like, well, how are they selling so much stuff? And then I felt like, I have this cute athletic gear that's clean, that's new looking. It wasn't new, but it was new looking. And I felt like I was selling them also for reasonable prices. And I don't know, I wasn't getting a lot of eyes on my stuff, not through the social media marketing and not on the apps themselves. So anyways, I guess a lot of these different methods need time and effort that I just was not willing to put forth, because I didn't see that I would have much to say for it in the end without a really long stretch of time of just practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing. I think that that's probably really what it comes down to. It's just that in my situation, being that I do have a full-time day job and I do have an 8-month-old baby that I, take care of full-time whenever I'm not at work, the time and effort is really kind of a big challenge for me. That's a very big uphill battle. And it's just that if I don't see that the reward will be enough without, a lot of time, if I don't see that the reward is really there, in the sense of that it's going to generate me a significant supplemental income, I don't want to do it. And so that's how I got to the point where I made the decision about a month ago to house my own inventory. And by the way, the shipment is on its way, so it will be here at the end of this month, hopefully a little sooner, but I'm thinking somewhere between June 20th and 25th I will have my products here, which I'm very excited about. But that's how I've made the decision that I need to house my own inventory. One thing is that I like that I will be more in control of what is going on with my products. So with the Printful and the Auto DS, for example, it's very reliant on other businesses and what they are able to produce and how quickly. And if a shipment arrives to a customer damaged, or it wasn't what they wanted, it's the wrong product, then you're this middle person that has to do all of this communication back and forth, which I don't really want to do. I would rather just be the person that they communicate with, and it can be resolved directly and more efficiently. And then, I'm in control of my shipping and in more control of my store and the photos and the marketing and just everything. It makes me feel proud that this is something that I can really take ownership of, regardless if it works out or not, because I'm well aware that this is something that could, it could be a year-long challenge to get any real type of business. And I recognize that, but at least I am in control. I have full authority over this. I'm working directly with my own suppliers for these products. And so, of course, there's a little bit of dependency on them as well. But, I mean, in anything you do in life, you're going to need some kind of help. There's going to be some small sort of dependency on other factors, right? But, I mean, it's small. It's not as big of a dependency as it is when you do something like Printful or when you do something like dropshipping, at least not the way that I'm looking at it. So anyways, here we are, and I'm really proud to be taking control of something that will be my very own in many different ways. That this is something that I will have here in my apartment. I can take the photos, I can take the marketing videos, I can get as creative as I want. It's going to be all my own product. I'm going to be in charge of the shipping. I'm going to be in charge of, just everything. And that makes me feel really proud, and it makes me feel a lot better, and it just makes me feel like I won't have as many excuses anymore. And it's something that whether it works out or not, it's me, and I don't have as many excuses to put into it when it's something that belongs to me. And of course, because I'm gonna have the inventory here literally in-house, then I don't have to feel as much pressure about getting turnover rapidly, because with these other applications that I was using, I mean, I felt like a sort of a pressure, especially because I was on trials for them. I felt, like, okay, come on, let's hurry this up. I need to see something happen. Whereas having the inventory here, I can, so to speak, take as much time as I need to for the marketing to try and generate interest and engagement and traffic to my store. And I feel more comfortable. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that I'm gonna have frustrations on this journey, and I need to practice my patience, but I'm going to just have more time, because I'm going to have all of it here, and I can fall down and get back up, so to speak, a little more seamlessly, because I will just have it here, and I don't have the pressure of, oh, well, this trial is ending, and if I don't cancel it by June 15th, then they're gonna charge me $200, and I don't have that. I'm a super cheap person. But so anyhow, I feel a lot better about now doing this. And something that I forgot to mention is the possibility for profit is a lot higher and a lot better. So that's another piece of this, is that although the journey may be arduous, at the end there could be a really substantial reward for doing this. And so that makes me feel a lot better and makes me feel like this will be a lot more worth it. So I'm excited and I'm happy and definitely nervous and anxious, but I just feel that the possibilities of this turning out to be something profitable and useful and something that is going to truly help my son and I financially, I feel like this is just a better try than some of the other things that I have done. But anyhow, this is all just my experience. It's my situation. You are living your life and you have your own situation, your own responsibilities, your own way of managing time, your own schedule, all of that. So I'm not saying that just because these things didn't work out for me that it might not work out for you. There obviously are success stories. It just is not part of my success story personally. And I'm okay with that. I gave them tries, and a lot of this is just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I'm glad to be arriving to where I am. I think that this is a much better idea, housing my own inventory, having my own store, and I'm excited to see where this can go. So just wanted to share a little bit about the different methods that I had tried and why I don't feel like they were working and what I was not really too much of a fan of in the end. Anyways, I hope that you all are well, and I look forward to letting you know once I have the products here and just updating you on how that goes, setting up my store and launching, and we'll see where this goes. It's gonna be a long journey, I think, and I don't expect to have any kind of substantial success right away. But as I said, now I will have more time to play around with the marketing, and yeah, I look forward to it. Catch y'all later.